uli ogamba nti kati ninamuko I can afford food I can afford
ekitegeeza tulina ssente
osobola okulwala
kiba kitegeeza obulwadde bubeerawo
anti obulwadde buli faide kitegeeza nti omuntu asobola okulwala nti akasente tekawera n'alwala psychologically mu mind so health zino tulina zigoberera njogedde physical nenkugamba mental netudda ku emotions netudda ku financial omuntu ateerera mu finances then the social part now comes in asobola okukolagana bulungi n'abantu be salonga abaana bo balya bulungi ewakaoyimirako mu bantu n'oyogera mu zigulu
n'otulamagati w'abakyala bwe bati babiri
ng'okukamanawo owerawo our area of coverage is not that today our area of coverage is mental ne emotional olwali tugenda tereza abantu birowoozo abatulaba mental how do you know that you are mentally healed them relationship distress eyinza okutuukako n'olwala ate omala okulwala omutwe next no disconnecting emotions zigana hunger fear jealousy notabuka wano then all other things will be affected so
my question now to you is how do you relate it now to your books how did you now mind how did you put them together
so after understanding that life the most important thing was the emotions which are not touched for the whites they know abali mu nsi z'abazungu ekintu ekiri emotional kiri so important kubanga kya affecting ebintu ebiranga tukikuteeko nti omuntu wamala okuwulira obubi munda asobola ofuuka menace nga tategedde so I understood that emotional happiness is very key in everybody's life so my foundation was nyamba abantu okutegeera nti ebintu ebiri emotional bino mbibwa attention omuntu yenna atawanya emotional setup yo yenna alina akuteeka mu distress akwocupayinga ebirowoozo byokutawanya oluzinge that mental ogende mu kwenyamira that depression it is a big problem so that is where the word emotional happiness came from and it came out of my interactions with different people ngadawe batawanya biri emotional people are talking about money but the money is not a problem if you're emotionally healthy sente sozinoonya
that means you can also have emotional intelligence how can you break it down to omukyala ali eri oba omulenzi ali eri n'ategeera emotional intelligence ekitegeeza ki so that is this example obutakwata emundu noyagala okubuuza amasasi
ng'oli ofa
nga even when they are omanyi even bakusondasonda mwaka
anti kakati when the reaction omuntu wa reactingira ku ssaawa esembayo ekikolwa kyo kyokola point tebeere kiba kize kipayiringa kitegeeza omuntu aba ajjanyize n'anyiiga n'azimba obusungu paka webufuuka as big as this so last moment wakwatya okukubwa bwati oluyi ekyo si kyoba okoze that's not the point so kitegeeza nti abantu abakola violence aba ya accumulatinga mental health aba already alwala dda mwe mulaba obulwadde buno nti abantu abatabuse be balalu no but many people sick nti nemu wagatta nnyo stress w'omulimu n'amulinya ku mutwe n'agatta family challenges ne zimulinya ku mutwe n'agatta financial problems teziri gwogenda okujja ng'oyoga naye nga alaba gwe nga ataaka but there is a multiplication of many issues.
I have another question to bring before I bring her in. Is abakyala abangi batera nnyo okusirika. Somebody keeps quiet, they keep piling things, ne babiteekako without asking explanation. For example, I can come late. Mbadde waliwo omuntu gwe mbadde ndi ku business. Nzize late, you have not asked me, maybe nkusanze nga weebase. Nkomyo the next day akawunga ketugenda okugula enkya sente ezo zivudde ku waliwo ampadde emitwalo 5 awo enkya the other day nosanga omuntu nga ayagala kubeewuma ayagala kuba beseni ayagala kati how do you advise them to handle everything at a time rather than piling
anti kakati awo
nyagala obulira abakyala
gwe mulama gwa sheeno olwaleero bagenda kuyiga how to manage your reactions how do you react okumanyinga not just react you act deal reacting bagenda kumanya how to manage stressful experiences how do you deal with emotional pain how do you deal with the breakup olinga gamba nkukoye njagala bivaamu ewe nebibuzo babimubyebuza kati oli amweyongereyo nagamba
how do you handle by the way that onayagala kugenda doesn't matter who it is nayo nakyala
anti kakati
n'amaviva agatadde wansi
okusingira ddala kwe kutegeera nti nga bwe njogedde ku makyanga ndi ne Farida nti life has its own transitions and everything has its own time singa abakyala bategedde ekintu ekyo nti buli kintu kirina obudde bwakyo ate kiggwako kati woowalira n'olemerako ennyo you end up dying in your own
movie
okitegedde kaka kitegeeza nti oli wagamba nti nze nga mpulira sikyayagala akuyambye kitegeeza takumalidde budde taddiriddalinze kuwa muhope agambye
ate bw'olemerako
you can cry until that is what gives rise to problems So olwaleero nsikyenjagala tukipinge in touch with people is to teach them how exactly do you handle reactions. Singa omuntu akujjuza obusungu, lwaki omuntu azimba obusungu for a long time. Never, in fact, kitandikira mu kubeera mu mudde n'atandika ogifuula temperament, time netuuka personality trait, oli n'atandika okubeera nga asooza buli muntu gwasanze nga yanyiiga dda nga nono amuli mu maaso si ensonga. So many people have disturbed mindsets, and that is what causes sloppy workmanship in organizations. Bantu bozanga nga ne ku front desk because omuntu gwavuma si ye
avudde awaka n'ebizibu. So mbadde njagala kubuuza omukyalo ono Madam Mary. What do you have to react about what she has just said about that emotional intelligence and the money and everything from your experience, because you are also somebody who has some good experience?
Yeah, thank you, Herbert. Good afternoon, our viewers from wherever you're watching from. We welcome you to this show. Now, in my own experience, right from what Mariam has just said, emotional intelligence is knowing the right decision to make and at what time. People pile a lot of things in their minds because of different reasons. Now, there are so many ways you can get rid of piling up things, because in the end, that is what makes people break. Some will run mad, others will do things, others will throw tantrums, will fail to work and all that. Now, among other things, of course, there are many other things which Mariam will be talking about even in future, but for now, to look at one of the ways that we can deal with our distress, or that we can deal with the things that affect us emotionally. And one of the biggest things that I want us to look at is a process called journaling. Journaling is a practice of putting down every situation, everything that you feel, your emotions on paper. Sometime last month we launched Mariam launched the Ladies Guide Journal. And it is basically a ladies guide that shows you how you can journal each day. You
what
can
is
journal.
Journaling? I want that person down there to understand what journaling is.
Okay. Journaling is a practice of putting down your emotions on paper. It is something that you do. It's like you're talking to someone, but basically you're talking by writing. Psychology says that when you put something on paper physically, not just thinking about it or even telling someone, but putting it on paper, there's a way it helps you to
memorize,
to memorize, and also to get things off your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
you offload.
You offload. Now, the reason why it is important to journal, one of the reasons why it is important to journal is that it gives you that freedom,
relief,
to speak or to put everything that you think on paper without thinking of being judged. You see, normally, especially ladies, I don't know much about men, but especially ladies, when you're in a distressful situation, you want to talk to someone. I mean, it's urgent. You want to talk to someone about it. But in the end, you anyone and just tell them. You land on an acquaintance,
I know,
or a business partner, and you're here telling them about your personal issues.
On that note,
Yes.
let's hang in there a bit. First of all, I want to acknowledge all of you that have just joined us from wherever you're coming from. I can see Halima Namubiru, I can see Runji Barbara, I can see Margaret Sezibe, I can see Noah Nanat. Please, for those of you who do not understand where we belong, please subscribe to our YouTube, join us also and like our Ladies Guide. We are growing our YouTube numbers. Thank you people for growing the numbers so spontaneously. We love you, and there is a lot that we are going to do, so continue doing that. Now, going back to Madame Mary, is the Japanese, is it the Japanese? I read somewhere, I like reading a lot by the way, and late at night. I saw there's even a business where they bring old TVs, old cameras, old electronics, and the people go there and vent their anger. You find somebody give you a smasher. You smash, you hit men and women,
Yes.
but it looks like the women smash more. They hit things. You find somebody destroying like a TV, or destroying like a whole electronic thing, so something that is breakable. Then from there, you go and take a shower and you drive and go home.
Thank you.
Is it what you're actually telling us, that ladies actually, you go in a room and then start crying?
Yes.
Or you do something like that?
Exactly. The only difference is that I don't think women release their emotions by such crushing things and hitting things. Women like relieving their emotions by talking, especially the talkative type. They want to talk to anyone and everyone.
Extroverts.
Yes. So instead of talking to the wrong person, the wrong things, you're talking to your boss about your husband's issues. Because basically you're full, yeah? You would rather in a room somewhere, you have your ladies' guide journal, and then you start.
This book here.
Yes, this very book. You go with your book somewhere in the room. You are free to cry, you're free to jump, you're free to do everything, but just put it down. Exactly how you felt it. If you felt like shouting, just write it down and shout. By the time you're through,
You will.
I can assure you, you'll be a totally different person. You'll be feeling like you talked to the whole world, and yet actually you did not talk to, like not many people know what actually you're
It
going
is
through.
self-healing.
It is self-healing.
Remember, you have healed yourself.
You have healed yourself, and also when you get it to be your routine, yeah, it also helps you to evaluate your life. Yeah, you can get to a point whereby you just go in your room with your ladies' guide and write down, even in moments, by the way, when you're not mad, when you're Selene, you just sit back and write.
Because emotions
What-
are either way.
They are either way.
This side
They are,
and this
yes, they are good, they are bad. So there are those where you just need to sit. I can compare journaling to like say meditation. Yeah, you just go and sit in your room and evaluate your life. Think about yourself. Write it down. What do you feel about? I think I failed here. I think I should have handled this thing this way. I think this way. I think that way. So at the end of it all, you have no backbiters. I mean, you've not told anybody, so what are they even going to talk about?
Exactly. Now hold it there a bit. I have a question for the author.
Thank you.
Thanks for thinking about an interactive book like so. However, my question is this. What she has just said is, you put everything there, you are tanking them up, they are just in a book. Have you thought of creating a safe, a metallic box, which is like a bunker, so that her issues are not seen by her sister,
of course.
her daughter,
Okay.
her husband? Because you see, when you write everything about you, and I'm sorry I'm going to say this, I'm going to put my mother on the spot. When I was in S1, first of all, I was the firstborn, and I was a boy, and my mother was a young, because she's 20 years older than me anyway. She would buy me diaries. It was like journaling. And she was a banker. She would buy me diaries, whatever. Little did I know that she wanted to monitor my life. So whenever I would go and read and see a movie, and he letters, or you meet a lady and you put a red tick, maybe it means you've kissed or something like that. Then in the holidays you find she's asking you are getting spoiled. I can see you are spoiled. So in order to avoid all that, how do you think a lady should do after journaling these books here?
So-
where do we put these books here? Do we take them to Makerere in the library? Do we take them at City Square to be taken out?
I wish one of our technicians could show the picture of my journals. I've kept my journals from 2008. Yeah, because I started this practice way back in 2007 when I saw my life was, I didn't have anyone to share with the truth because I didn't trust anybody where I'd reached. So I've kept all of them. all of them, and I have a safe. Yes, you're very right. I must have a safe, and I must keep my key on my key of either the office but the key has to be with me. Why? Because I know if somebody opens that safe, they've known my life. I put everything. So what journaling's done, this is the magic about journaling. Nti asita owandiika ebintu ebyo wansi obusungu nga buli waggulu nnyo naye ngolaba ogenda kukuba omuntu ekintu n'ogamba naye omanye kanneebulirire bwe naagamba Mary alina ebizibu bye bwe naakubira sisita wange naye alina ebibye bwe naama wange ajja kweraliikirira akaabe bwe naagamba taata wange ajja gamba naye gwe biki byonteekamu it is reddish. I mean, if I tell my brother he has his wives, life comes at that level where you don't have anybody who can understand, especially when it comes to relationships. Ng'ogenda kufa wekka. So ebintu ebisinga singa oba osobola okumanya how to solve abalala, because even counselors are paid. A counselor has to be paid okuntuuza mu meeting, which money you may not have. But here is a solution which is so what about pen in your local language, in your language you understand, and start journaling. Journaling in a processes. That's we didn't talk about. It has a process. In a steps more okuyita 1 2 3 tomalaga wandika. That's why inabakolera katabaka, not every notebook. No, you must be inspirited. Olina okubanga omwoyo gwina wootuuse kino ekitabo. It is God himself now telling people mutandika omawandikira kubanga kyakooye be bantu okwekuba. A woman with a man living together temusobola kubula mu bukubagano. It is in friends.
Because we are different.
Disagreeing. Era nga batuze wano laba nti wabaddewo biki technical delay ahumba mwatabusedda. So if you journal it owona okugamba omuntu ekigambo, it helps you to swallow your words back. And the situation passes, by the way, because it is written, not every situation is forever. Enkya mujja kutereera naye ebigambo byewayogera ogamba munne oyinza obutabizaayo mabega. So what this, put down your thoughts and heal from within.